Let's go back into MES 90 and take a look at what's going on. Let's jump back down to Business Manager, eBusiness Manager, and let's go into Setup. Let's start taking a look at some of the setup options. Like every MES 90 module, the very first setup option is the options that are available for that module. Now, I don't want to give you a drink from a fire hydrant today, so we're not going to go through all of these in detail. I'll just point out some of the more important ones. Obviously, I get to put my company name. So again, now I'm the employee back at the ABC Distribution Company, and I'm maintaining my eBusiness Manager site. I can change the company name. This is where we can put in our company logo. If you remember when I was in the website, let's pull it back up just so you can see it for a second. Everywhere I went on the website, I had my company logo appearing right there. This is where that comes from. You can take a picture, go outside with a digital camera, take a picture of your company, and that's what can appear on your web page. A lot of this other information is just specific to the eBM module. A good example is cookie time. MES 90's eBusiness Manager will drop a cookie off when your customer comes into the website, and this is how long that their Explorer or browser should store the cookie. Also, remember I told you that you could have orders either stop and be accepted, as well as customer changes, or flow through automatically. These are the two important fields right there. Do I want to require acceptance of changes, and do I want to require acceptance of user IDs? Then, over here, do I want to require acceptance of shopping carts? So with those three checkboxes, you can either make somebody in your company have to look at orders and changes and accept them, or you can just let them flow through automatically. Some other information here on the address tab. This is where you indicate where the different servers in your facility are. For example, this question is asking where's the IIS, the Internet Information Server. It could be in your building. It could be out at your ISP, hosted in 3 states away. It doesn't matter to MES 90's eBusiness Manager module. You just have to indicate where is the IIS server. And then also down here it wants to know where's your web engine. Again, you might be hosting your own website, or you might have your website being hosted for you somewhere else in the world, and you just need to fill that information in here. This is basic information that handles how the flow of the shopping experience works. We already covered the fact that we do want to require acceptance of shopping carts. These next questions indicate where do you want to send emails. Do you want to send out an email notifying a customer that you've received their cart? Do you want to send out an email letting them know you've accepted or rejected it? Do you want to send out an email letting them know that it's been shipped or invoiced? Also, this is really important too, check for quantity. A lot of companies on their websites, they don't want quantity to show. They don't want a customer to know that they're low on quantity on something. They just want them to place the order. So you have the ability to display quantities or turn quantities off. It's up to you. This is another nice feature. Since it is a B2B site that we're setting up here, I can deal with an abandoned shopping cart by hanging on to it for, in this case, 720 hours. That way, if the customer fills a shopping cart up and leaves, then comes back within that 720 hours, the shopping cart will still be there with all the items that he had previously put in it. Then this tab here is if you're going to set up the B2C capabilities of MES 90's eBusiness Manager. Remember, B2C is business to consumer. That means anybody can come in and purchase from you. You don't need to know who they are. But obviously, MES 90 needs a customer record to process an order. So this is the basic information that you're setting up. So when a B2C customer places an order, we have some basic customer record information that we can create for them. So that's enough detail on the setup options. Let's go to the next area. Well, actually, no, there is one place that's kind of interesting to look. This will be the first way you can see, or the first thing you'll be able to see in the modifiability of eBusiness Manager's website. I can just change the cascading style instantly. I'm going to change to Southwest here. And to show you what that did, now if I'm changing things on the website, I have to shut the web server down and start it back up again so it'll recognize those changes. So I'll stop the web server, and now that they're stopped, I'll just start them up again. And all this is doing is picking up any changes that I might have made back in my eBusiness Manager configuration. Now I'll go to my website, and we'll go log into the web store, and we should see that it's picked up the Southwest look and feel. So while this is a very, very simple modification, you're starting to get the feel of what can be modified. And to those ends, the next thing that could be modified is the actual web template itself. So for example, areas where you see previous page, next page, submit, you can change this wording to be whatever you want, or you can even create graphical pictures that are more like buttons and place buttons in the place of where it should say previous page. Maybe you want an arrow pointing to the left, and for next page you want an arrow pointing to the right. So you can create these HTML images and link them here. So these are the ways that the website can be modified for you. We can actually take a look at this. Right now I have the order menu set up as Style 3. And this is what Style 3 looks like. It's got our menu system up here the way we've been looking at it. All the body information is displayed here. If we go to Order Style 2, you see we get a more graphical bar here. That's the shopping cart. There's information. There's going home. And things kind of change. The menu moved from up here to down here. Or I can go to Order Menu Style 1. And now this main menu is a little bit less graphical and not quite as intuitive. So the point is that you've got complete control over how you want things to look. We'll go back to 3 here. Products, we already talked about quantity, whether or not I want quantity to appear or be calculated. Also, you can change the description of things on the website. Maybe in the inventory module it might be an item number, but maybe on your website you want it to read SKU. Or maybe instead of item description you want it to read product description. Again, this is just letting you make the software more adaptable to what you want your website to look like. This is a real powerful feature. Every item in your web store has the capability of having 8 things attached to it. What would those things be? They could be schematic drawings, literature pieces, product photos, manuals, assembly documentation, whatever you want. As an example, I'll set up engineering drawings, and then I'm going to set up engineering literature. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Now, you can have up to 8 different categories, and you don't have to name them. You can just leave them like that. But where you'll find that now is if I go back up into the inventory module, and I'll pull up an item in inventory, and we'll just pull up our first item. First thing you'll notice, these 2 buttons here, this checkbox indicates whether or not you want this item to be sold on your web store. It is this simple. If I deselect this box, this item is no longer showing up on my web store. It's that fast. In here, the inventory item, we'll get into what this is used for in a second, but notice this attachment logo or button down here. Notice I've got engineering drawings and engineering literature, and then I just left the others open, and we'll see how this gets used very shortly as well. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, let's jump back to the eBusiness Manager module and the setup. So we pretty much covered the template options already, so we'll put that away.